Wolf Game is taking over the NFT space right now. The floor price is absolutely rocketing and everyone's going crazy for it. Let's jump in and look at the post-drop stats. First up, I want to say if you could hit up that like button, really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also down the bottom there are chapters so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before jumping into the NFT space. Now I'll touch on really quick about Wolf Game, but I want to get into the statistics as fast as possible. Basically, what Wolf Game is when you mint, you got a chance at getting a wolf and a sheep. And the story goes that the farmer struck a deal with the wolves, giving them 20% of their wool. So essentially you stake your sheep, you can then shear your sheep, 20% of that goes to the wolves. Now any unstaked sheep can then be stolen by wolves, and there's a little bit of game theory when it comes down to it, and the game is kind of governed by this wool token, which you can see here. And basically it is a blockchain game, so you are going to be paying gas fees when you kind of sort of shearing your sheep, staking, unstaking, all those types of things. But because there is a heavy staking aspect, that's when you get a really high price fall. Let's jump over into OpenSea. And if you have a look in OpenSea, we can see the floor price is 3.45. Now there are 13,800 items, but the true count is closer to 3,500 because when they've staked, they've sent it to essentially another contract, so that's why it looks a little bit less. If you actually go to buy now, you can actually see what some of the prices of these sheep are, and you can see that very, very fast this price floor could rise to a 5 ETH floor. Now to back up the point about people going crazy for the game, if we jump over onto Nansen, we can actually see here that Wolf Game is number 2 in the 24-hour market overview. In terms of volume, they're about to cross Axie Infinity in terms of volume, which is really crazy when it comes down to the big weight and size of Axie Infinity and the fact that this has been out for a few days now. When we jump into the individual project and have a look at the statistics, we can see here that Wolf Game was deployed 4 days ago. And this is a beautiful looking chart. When you have a look here, the average price, it's the blue line, it just keeps running up. It just goes up higher and higher. And the volume, we can see just spikes. And these spikes would be at periods in the day when I'm guessing the US is awake. When you come down and have a look at the prices, they're just going up. This is a beautiful looking chart when it comes down to being in the project. If you were able to mint Wolf Game or get in the first day or so, this project is absolutely killing it and paying out very, very well. Here's a dashboard of some of the stats, but we can see here that the average price is at around sort of 5.5 ETH. Having a look at the individual transactions, what is nuts is the fact that there is just a crazy spread of notable buyers and common buyers when it comes down to this project, and it's just all up in an uptrend. Now what you can see here is there is a big spread between the 6 ETH and the kind of 1.5 ETH. That's because of the wolves and the sheep. The wolves are harder to get, rarer to get than the sheep. So I can see that on the secondary market, there would be a lot of buying, like higher buying for the wolves. So that's why it's a very interesting spread when it comes down to it. And that's why you would see this little bit of a gap essentially, which is crazy. You're almost seeing the price floor and the maximum price. It's very strange to kind of see almost a gap in the middle of the individual transactions, but that's why this is just a beautiful chart to look at. Now, when it comes down to top balances, this is going to be very hard to have a look at and determine what the top balances are because of the staking aspect. We can see here that the staking address has 13,000 NFTs in there currently, and then other than that, people outside of that, you're looking at 10,876, which is crazy because there is a huge amount of people that have staked. Now when it comes down to the unique addresses, this is almost a look at who hasn't staked their wolves or sheep, and we can see here that the lowest point was 165. With an uptick here, I believe that people have seen some of the gains that Wolf Game is making and they're taking some money off the table. When it comes down to the percentage of people holding one NFT, We have maxed out at 82%, and this would be a distribution where some of the people that have bought in a few at the start maybe have offloaded some, but this chart will be very skewed because of the staking aspect. And I really like this chart just because it shows the balance of diamond hands. It's gone down to nothing. That's because people have staked and it's sitting quite flat. So if anything, this shows you that the balance of diamond hands is actually very strong because people have sent them off to stake and they don't want to do anything, which shows that there are about 146 people that are just kind of holding on to them, that haven't sold them, that are just kind of letting them be free range essentially, which is a little bit scary when it comes down to the gaming aspect of the NFT. Now, having a look at the profit leaderboard, here's where we can get an indication of what some of the gains that have been made when it comes down to Wolfgame. We can see here that the top profit taker 41, then we've got another 41, 39, and then it kind of rounds out, and the top 18, so almost the top 20, round out, and I think 25 is a very healthy point when it comes down to Wolfgame. We can see here that the top collector, even though they've made 41 profit, they bought 52 and they only sold 15, so they've made a big chunk of cash when it comes down to Wolfgame, but they're still in the game. This next one is crazy. They bought 21, they sold the 21, and they have made the 43E. So you can see that number 2 is completely out of the game when it comes down to their holdings. The profit leaderboard, this is a healthy profit leaderboard. I can see this blowing out to hundreds of ETH if the trajectory of the NFT keeps currently going. Because of the lack of supply on the market, people are finding out, people are then FOMOing in, and it just keeps driving and keeps pushing it up. I do believe that once we get more aspects of the game rolled out, this will just kind of build up and it will be absolutely crazy. And the fact that some of these profit takers are sitting on some tidy sums here, I do think this will grow up and blow out later on. Now, when it comes down to the top 5 buying addresses, this is very telling about the people that entered into this project. We can see here that everyone bought in under 1 ETH. So it means that as it started to run out and run up, they saw the potential and they loaded in. Now, the reason that I find this chart very interesting is the fact that there is almost a 3 to 4 times minimum gain when it comes to the price floor and where these top 5 buying addresses have actually come in. It's crazy because they've really laid into the project, and then over the past day or so, they've just cooled off and they're essentially just playing the game. When it comes down to the legendary collectors buying, this is what I mean by about the difference between the top buyers. The fact that the legendary collectors are getting in whenever they can, and we can see almost a parabolic uptick when it comes to the price of what the legendary collectors are willing to buy. This shows amazing strength in the project because there are people willing to spend huge, heavy sums of money when it comes down to Wolfgame. The smart money, there's not much we can take away from here, but we can see a similar curvature as to the legendary transactions. Now, when it comes down to the recent transactions, we're actually going to have to go over to OpenSea just to see how fast it's moving, because it's moving so fast that Nansen currently can't keep up. We can see here 4 minutes ago, 8 minutes, 12, 15, 18. So within an hour, the price floor can move very, very fast within 2 or 3 hours. And the reason this is crazy is that right now it is very, very early, 3 a.m. in New York, midnight in LA. So it shows that the momentum is crazy even outside of the US, and the US is a big collector of NFTs. So when it comes down to Wolfgame, what is this chart showing? And what does it look like the future is going to hold? What we can see here with this chart is it seems like the average price has kind of peaked out over the last 12 hours or so. We will need to see what happens because there are little bumps of volume and there could be more volume coming into the space. Saying that, we will need to see a few more days because it looks like the average price is starting to retrace back, but we will need to let it run for another couple more days. I don't believe that the price floor will crash anytime soon. I do believe it will stay quite strong because from the outside, the aspect of the game, it seems to be moving fast enough. It's not too high maintenance when it comes down to actually playing, and there's very good risk reward aspects and factors that come down to the game, and that's why I believe that this is really fun and really good moving forward. When it comes down to Wolfgame as an investment, should you buy into Wolfgame? I think that unless you have a very, very large bag of ETH, this may be something that you need to sit on the sidelines and have a look for and learn from it. At this current point, I missed out on this. I didn't get the alert for the sale, and I ended up missing out. I'm kicking myself that I wasn't at a computer to actually kind of execute the trade, because this is blown up and it looks really good. I won't be buying in at these current levels because I believe that the gains that have been made are going to be harder to achieve. I think everyone that is currently in this should hold on to the project. It looks very strong, and I feel like this will be one of those games that is at a pivotal point when it comes down to the NFT space moving forward. There are going to be so many copycats of this game, so many iterations of this game, so don't feel like you've missed out, because there will be something that'll take the same aspect of Wolfgame, make it a little bit easier. Maybe they'll be doing some stuff on some layer 2s to then reduce the gas fees. There will be something at play, and the success of Wolfgame will open up the doors for other projects. Saying that, there will be a lot of scam projects out there that will just spin up to try to get your money. So also on the flip side, be very, very careful. Will I be buying into this project? No, I won't. I feel like I have missed the boat when it comes down to this project, and the amount of ETH to get in and actually really make some damage in this game, it would be too much, and it could be deployed elsewhere on some other projects and some other aspects. Overall, I think this project is absolutely amazing, and it shows that NFTs don't need to just be high quality art or high quality gaming. It can be very simple, and it can be very low maintenance. And what I mean by low maintenance is you don't need to have lots of skills to play this. It comes down to a little bit of luck and a little bit of psychology, which is good, because for some people, and I would think that would be the demographic that are actually watching these videos, we can't sit down for 10 hours a day practicing, going hard to try to grind through some levels. This is the kind of thing that you can spend 5 or 10 minutes a day, get your fix, enjoy it, and then kind of move on with life, because life does happen. So if you found value in this video when it came down to Wolfgame and you enjoyed looking at the stats, I will say real quick, the software that I did use is Nansen. It is a great tool to use, and I've actually got a tutorial that I've done on Nansen. You can actually click the link up here to check it out. It is a paid software, but it's very good when it comes down to the statistics and holders of NFTs. Overall, it's been a pleasure having you with me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.